Hello, people of the internet and the bots. I wanted to make a quick video today just about gratitude and continuing back into getting into the at your own risk mindset that I started 10 years ago. And it's an always ever evolving, sometimes repeating process of trying to build your life and yourself. And it's never over. Every day is a learning day. Um, Today, I was meant to do some volunteering in the afternoon, but then that got canceled, and it's like slightly annoying. But then it was kind of nice because I just went on a walk and I started to organize the many tools, paint, project things that are around the house. They were just sort of everywhere and disorganized, and I was slowly gathering them and throwing them into one closet so that at least they were like out of the way. But now I was like, okay, now there's just a closet and it's still like needs to be gone through. Some of this paint is probably old and needs to be thrown out. And I don't even know what's there because obviously I've now moved in with my husband. Is all stuff that his family has mostly shoved on him, or that he's decided like, oh, I'm gonna put up the shower curtain that's not been put up for like years. Um, so I'm gonna go through. I've taken it all out. I've cleaned the closet, and now I'm starting to go through it. So now I have like a little project, which is actually helpful, which is gonna also turn into other projects. There's some things that need to be repainted. I'm good at painting, so I might as well do it. I can see if the paint is still good anyway. So I'm happy that I've started that. I'm very grateful to have something useful to be doing. The sun, I was going to say the sun just came out, but it must have just gone behind a cloud because now it's not quite as sunny. But probably after this video, I will go out on the balcony, finish my coffee here. Um, it's been a bit of a late start of the day, which is often the way my days have been going recently, especially on the days when I don't have any commitments to leave the house, which is most days. Since I'm not working, I'm not able to work. And so, yes, I did. I went on a walk. I have left. I did some exercise. Well, it was a two thing, leaving the house and doing exercise. I know that seems like maybe very insignificant, but I'm going to give myself that win. And I think a lot of gratitude also ties into celebrating or having a reward at the end of doing something positive. I was watching, can't remember who the guest was, but he did the book, something like 8 Habits to Change Your Life or something like that, um, on the Mel Robbins podcast. I have heard of this book before. I can't remember where or how, but anyway, it was talking about how to create new habits, you have to first have a cue. So for example, in the morning, now I'm really trying to make my bed every day, like as soon as I get up, because it really takes 1 minute. And then it's like, at least you've done that one thing. I don't have a lot going on, is what I'm getting at in my life right now. So I'm trying to like give myself at least something that I've done in the day. Because there have been a lot of days in the last 2 months where I've literally accomplished nothing other than maybe feeding myself, and even then I wait till like the last possible moment. Anyway, we're crawling out of the hole. We're crawling out of the muddy hole of despair and getting back to ground floor. Um, I was also looking back at some of my videos from my early 30s when I started this whole at your own risk idea of improving yourself at the risk of leaving the old person behind, and also taking the more challenging path instead of the path everyone else takes, which is my whole life of not wanting to do the normal life things. Um, Recently, I've been sort of like, I just need to just maybe step back into just having a normal life. Um, just because you need to make money at some point. You can't just not. You can't just, yeah. But yeah, we're trying to get things right back on track. I'm glad that I've taken some steps into really getting clear about what the goals are that I have. I need to keep moving on with that, but I'm just going to be grateful that I have done what I have already, even if it's just a start, even if I don't even complete any of the things that I've started now. At least I'm moving forward. So I'm grateful for that. I also was looking back some of my old videos. There was a lot of good. I was really obsessed with quotes back in the day because I'm very like scatterbrained and I wanted my videos to have a focal point, which is kind of what I'm trying to do here, but not as strictly. I'm more just like ranting for the sake of ranting because I realize almost no one's going to watch these videos, so it doesn't matter. I can rant on about things and not even get to the point of whatever it is that I thought that I would be talking about. Although the other day I did post something about um, American versus Europe and the differences, but then I started ranting about how things are also different in Australia and New Zealand because I lived there for 7 years, and so people were very upset the fact that New Zealand and Australia aren't in Europe, because apparently that's what I said, but I didn't. It's just the title. Just get over it. Sometimes the things in the title are just a starting point, and then you talk about other things, and that's how words work. Like, get over it. I don't know. So, one quote, I had a bunch of quotes from Lisa Nichols. I was really obsessed with her back in the day, because you don't get a lot of examples of, especially females, who've come from poverty and worked themselves into a life of abundance, basically. So, her quote, she had many. One of them was, "The quality of your answers is determined by the quality of your questions." So that's what I'm working towards in terms of like mentally getting myself out of this little mud pit that I'm in, is asking questions and answering those questions and having good and better questions rather than why did this happen and what could I have done different. All the past stuff, it's you can't now change. I need to look to the future and stop obsessing about the past. And yeah, so the way to do that is replacing the anger and upsetness with hopefulness for the future. So, another one that I had, Tony Robbins, who's in the same vein as Lisa Nichols, they kind of do this similar stuff. Resourcefulness is the ultimate resource. Because right now am very aware of the fact that I have no income. And that is very upsetting because I usually my biggest goals are to do with money, and a lot of my goals you need money to do them also, so it's like they get tied together. So yeah, just trying to improve myself in ways that are not directly connected to needing and wanting to earn income in terms of actual money. So, yes, getting back into really having a positive mindset, making goals for the future, understanding the fact that I will eventually have money coming in and I will be able to work again at some point. It's not going to be anytime soon, and I'm going to have to also decide whether it's worth leaving and either going back to Canada or getting my work visa for the UK and working in the UK. That is something I have been mulling over for a while. Unfortunately, I do need to go back to Canada to do that because you need to do an in-person interview. So that is something, if by next summer I haven't made any traction in terms of working here, um, over a year later, we're gonna have to do that, I think. it'll be good. I can go back. I can see all my family again, and I can get this visa, which will probably only take like 2 or 3 weeks, because they have like a proper immigration department. Unlike here, again, it's been almost a year now that I'm trying to get work and my work papers. Anyway, what else am I grateful for? I am in a first world country. I have people who love me. I have my education. Um, not everyone has that. I know my grandmother only got to finish the seventh grade because she had to work on her farm, a family farm, and girls weren't expected to be educated. And in some places in the world, it's still like that, and I'm very lucky to have what I have. Even if things aren't going exactly how I would like, I am very lucky and grateful for the people that I have around me and the opportunities that I will have and could have. I do have the option to leave. I'm not completely broke yet. I could still hop on a plane, go back to Canada, find a job pretty easily because I am a workhorse. I'm a work pony. I do not like not working. That is my main thing. But, I'm trying to now also just be grateful that I have the time to use to get my habits right again. I have squandered a lot of it, but, in my yesterday's video about forgiveness, I'm trying to not focus on the time that I've squandered and the decisions that I've made, to get me where I am now, because it will eventually pan out, and also get myself into the present moment here. Yes, it's good to have goals for the future, but gratitude is about being present and being grateful for what you have now as well. And there are a lot of things that I am grateful for now, for right at this second. I have you watching me, you bots out there, you 5 bots that somehow click onto my video. And, I have a beautiful little setup here. I have my personal space. I have my lovely husband. I have my family and friends back home that I've been contacting a bit more recently, and they're all lovely and supportive, and I love to hear about what they're doing in their lives, at least if I have nothing going on here. And I think we're gonna plan a trip because we did get some wedding money from a few people, and I'm like, there we go. Let's plan a trip, even though what I really think is that I don't deserve to go on holiday because I haven't really been working. And that's for working people who need vacations. But it's like, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to spend that money. We're going to go, even though I'm not making anything. We only live once, and let's start planning it. Let's start looking into things. Let's get excited about going to probably the Azores in the spring. So I have that. I've started planning and looking at that. And what else? Present moment things that I have to be grateful for. I have, roof over my head, food, internet, good people, and this afternoon I have a doctor's appointment, even though it is going to be a little bit expensive. I'm going to meet up with my husband afterwards. We're going to go maybe for a drink somewhere and maybe play some pool, and that will be lovely. And right now, pardon me, I actually did something this morning. I accomplished a few little tiny things. I went on my walk. I started cleaning out that closet. So I'm grateful for today not being a complete waste of oxygen on my part. And that's as good as I can do today. And I hope you are doing your best. And, peace.